Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Spillane Field here in Wareham, Massachusetts. This is pregame Kettle Talk with your host, Sean Ellertson, joined alongside by Matt Liberman. Matt, let's jump into the game last night. Justin Hooper's 6 strong innings. Did he impress you, and do you think he impressed the scouts that were on hand last night at Lowell Park?
He certainly impressed me, and I would assume that he impressed the scouts as well. If I looked at MLB talent, one of the things that I would always look at is, can they command a dominant breaking ball? Because a lot of guys at the collegiate level have a really strong fastball. That's not that hard to do. If you're playing Division I baseball, you should be able to have a strong fastball. But if you can have that one breaking ball that you can go to time in and time out to get swings and misses or to get balls on the ground, that's what you want to look at. And Justin Hooper's slider last night was incredible. Allowed him to get lots of swings and misses, a lot of groundouts as well. If I was a scout, I would be awestruck at some of the stuff that I saw from him, because when you are that tall with a 3/4 release, it's hard to keep the ball low but in the strike zone, and he was really able to do it last night.
Justin Hooper might be the most improved pitcher on this Kettle pitching staff this year. Now, looking at the hitting the last 2 games, a gross, number, looking at the numbers, I suppose is the phrase to use, is only 4 hits and 1 run in the last 2 games. Is this an anomaly, or do you think the pitchers have solved this Kettle lineup?
I think that this is July Cape Cod League baseball. And talking with Coach Roberts, he always says that you'll really know what the league looks like in July, and you'll know what your team will look like in July, because you have guys that played in the College World Series there from schools like Oregon, Texas A&M, Oregon State, and Florida, as Michael Byrne is as well, and you can see the talent that he brought. You have a bunch of guys that are just as good as he is, or just as good as Justin Hooper, and they're coming to this league now, and you have rotations full. You look at Orleans, that's a very, very powerful rotation. Guys with an ERA below 2. You look at Wareham now, they have a few guys on their pitching staff that weren't here at the beginning of the year, and they are just dominating now, as they did last night with the shutout win against Kettle. This is what you'll see now day in and day out, because you have so many great pitchers in this league.
And for more on last night's game and a look at today's game, let's go down to fieldside to Biernat, who's standing with head coach Mike Roberts.
Thanks, Sean. Now, Coach, we are at the time in the season where the most scouts are present. Do you do or say anything to any of your players to make sure they stay relaxed and just go out there and play baseball?
Well, I tell them they're here, and I think it's good. I think it's great. That's what the league's for, is to watch the best players in amateur baseball to participate and see what they can do. So they're all aware of it, whether I tell them or not. And I think it's what makes the league as popular as it is the scouts coming up here to see the players, particularly the 2 weeks before the All-Star game.
You guys have struggled a little bit at the plate the past 2 games. Is there any particular adjustments that you think that your team can make to kind of get the bats going again?
Well, I just think you have to be more stubborn. You just got to fight like crazy against quality pitching, which we've seen the last few days. Really good pitching and very good relief pitching also. And you just have to be tougher, particularly with 2 strikes. And try to get the ball in the outfield before 2 strikes. And it's a mindset, and we'll kind of see. It's like I told them today, my Cubbies were struggling up to the All-Star break, and then all of a sudden they got Quintana, and he's got 12 strikeouts today, and all, the last 3 days they've scored a lot of runs. Well, I kind of told them, well, maybe Michael Burns, our Quintana, and I'm acting a little bit like Cubbies. Maybe we'll break out, so we'll see. But nothing, there's no flick of the switch. There's no doubt about that, but maybe we'll break out.
Now, your 2 last losses were only lost by 1 run. Would you say that you've liked the baseball that you've seen?
Oh, yeah. And, I think Wood-Bat in the Cape League, when the best players get here, you're going to see a lot of 2-1, 3-2 type games, and yesterday 1-0 type games. So you're going to see a lot of that, and it comes down to execution, and it comes down to also my being ready to make a change or whatever I need to do as well on time. So, yeah, I actually like the 1-run games, and I think they're fun, and I think you have to enjoy them.
All right, well, thanks, Coach, and good luck today.
All right, you're welcome.
Back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Kara. Now, looking forward to tonight's game. We see Mitch Stallings on the mound tonight. First start for Kettle. What do you expect out of him, the lefty out of Duke?
Well, it's his first start of this season, but he has experience. He pitched for this team 2 years ago alongside Jonathan Kay, now the pitching coach for Kettle. So I expect that they would have worked religiously on this start tonight, just looking at ways to break down the gateman. But looking at Wareham, if you look over their last 6 games, the team is barely hitting 200. Only Tanner Dawson has above a 300 average during that stretch. So this is a cold team right now. Even in the win last night for Wareham, they still only beat Kettle 1-0. They didn't hit well. They only had 7 hits, and they only had just 4 going in the last inning. So when you look at this team, they aren't hitting the ball well. Mitch Stallings, if he can command that fastball, if he can command his breaking ball, I think he should have a pretty solid performance tonight.
So you just talked about the Wareham lineup. Now let's switch to the Kettle lineup. Some interesting lineup changes tonight. Do you think they'll actually produce some results?
It would be hard to have a worse showing than the last 2 days. I mean, only 4 hits over the last 2 days, just 1 run. It's a little interesting to see the shakeup in the lineup. Zach Cohn now hitting 2nd, and Brett Kinnaman hitting 6th. Michael Tilley moving up to 3, and Grayson Jennings staying in the cleanup spot as he did yesterday. I think that this is just an attempt from Coach Roberts to try to get some offense out of his team that has been so cold during the last 4 games. I mean, just switching up the lineups, swapping people in. Thomas Dillard now DH hitting in the 5-hole, just trying to find some way to spark an offense, introducing some power with Dillard as well. Obviously, he has some strikeout problems, but if he can connect, he can really drive the ball. So just some different way to try to get a ball into the outfield or to get a ball over the fence. I mean, that's Coach Roberts' hope.
At least into the outfield, like we didn't see last night much out of Katuitt. Now let's go back to Care, who's standing with last night's starter, Justin Hooper.
Thanks, Sean. Now, Justin, before we talk about your start last night, you were named to the All-Star team yesterday afternoon. How does it feel to be a Cape League All-Star?
I just try to follow in the footsteps of Zane Collins. He really set the tone for us early coming out here. This complete game out here at Wareham, just learning from what he's been doing, attacking hitters, mixing speeds. I think he's a good example to learn from.
Now, I did talk to Zane yesterday as well, and I asked him, did you make any texts or phone calls when you got the news? And if so, who did you talk to first?
Zane Collins let me know first. He, he's just been really on it lately, and, he's just been doing it for us, on the mound, and, that's all we can ask for.
Now, looking at your start last night, you were up against another All-Star in Griffin Roberts out of Wareham. You guys both pitched great games. Do you feed into that when you have your opposing pitcher putting up nothing but zeros?
No, I just remember last time we played them it was out here at Wareham, and Zane pitched, and so I was just my mentality was to just go for him, how Zane was, and I looked at his pitching chart and just try to follow the same plan.
Now, this is your second year here with Katuitt, and you seem to get better with each start. Would you say that that's a comfort thing, or is your stuff just looking sharper every time?
No, no different approach. I'm just keeping the same mentality, just attacking hitters, watching for Zane. He's doing his thing.
Now, I understand your family was here, and your dad got to see your start yesterday. Has he had any influence on your baseball career?
Yeah, huge influence. He's been with me since, I picked up a baseball, and it's my father. He's been with me every step of the way, and I couldn't ask for a better role model.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And now I'm here with Matt McHugh, who's going to give us his X factor and his keys to the game. And Matt, this lineup is in serious need of a boost. Who do you think that guy is going to be tonight to finally push a run across the plate?
Well, they dropped him a bit down in the order, but Brett Kinnaman to me is a huge key to this team. When he can get going, he's been slow at the plate the last couple days. He hasn't quite gotten into his rhythm, but look at what he's done at NC State. Look at what he did at the beginning of the year. This is a guy who, when he's at his best, can get on base, steal bases, and make things happen that way. But he also has really good power gap to gap. I think he's in line for a big day, and this team could have some success.
And now looking forward to your key to the game, which is something different, I suppose. What is your key to the game tonight? Is it starters or is it the bats?
I think it's got to be the bats for this team, and I think it's going to be about getting balls off the ground in the infield and in the air all the way to the outfield. That's something we haven't really seen the last couple days. It's been a lot of ground ball outs, a lot of weak contact. Now it's going to be more about driving the ball, get the ball gap to gap in the outfield, start moving guys up into some extra base hits, and then I think they'll have a little bit more success at the plate.
All right, well, thank you, Matt. And that'll do it for pregame Kettle Talk for Biernat, Matt Liberman, Matt McHugh, and the rest of the Katuitt Kettleers. I am Sean O. It's at first pitch at 5:30 here in Spillane Field. Hope to see you here.